World, our correspondent, who's been reporting on the conflict there. This report from our Asia correspondent Nick Payton-Walsh, broadcast on Tuesday, featured interviews with aid workers in Tamil internment camps run by the government. They told us that children were being separated from their parents in the camps and dead bodies were being left out in the open for days as people fought for food and water. And they said that women were being sexually humiliated, forced to bathe publicly, and sometimes abducted by soldiers.
One elderly mother was crying inside the camp. I asked why. She said they'd taken her daughter away and she hadn't heard from her at all. There were many people taken from the camps that go missing. The women are sexually abused and no one takes any action. There's no one to complain to. Nobody dares to talk. They know they're being watched. They're afraid they'll go missing.
Well, the Sri Lankan government has denied the allegations in that report. Earlier today, I spoke to Nick Payton-Walsh on the phone as he made his way to the airport, and I asked him what had happened.
Earlier on today, I was rung by the Defence Secretary of the country, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who expressed his upset at a piece we ran on Tuesday of this week, in which we carried some very serious allegations of sexual abuse, supposedly by soldiers in some of the IDP camps for displaced people north of the country, Valia. He was angry and said that we would be deported as a result of that piece. He said we could say what we liked about what's happening in this country, but we would have to do it in our own country, not here, and we would be immediately deported.
And so, I mean, what has their reaction been to the actual allegations?
Well, as it stands at the moment, I haven't had a serious factual response to the allegations themselves. One official said to me that we had damaged the image of Sri Lanka, and certainly the Defence Secretary himself seemed angry that we had accused what he said of his soldiers of raping people. They're incredibly sensitive about allegations about misconduct in these camps, partly because at the moment they're looking for the international community to step in, for the UN, other international groups to step in and help them fund what's ostensibly going to be a tens of thousands strong internment camp system, which could be open for a number of years as they begin to filter the Tamil population of the north of the country. Enormous sensitivity about this. So suggestions of sexual abuse by soldiers, which we did hear from the UN, had raised concerns among them and asked them to change some practices at the camp to make women safer, have obviously caused them to be very reaction. So hence I'm being driven towards the airport.
Well, you've been up towards that last pocket of Tamil resistance, if you like. I mean, what is your last situation report?
Well, it's very, very confused at the moment. The government's saying they're literally down to 2.5 square kilometres of this no-fire zone in which they're